Merry after Christmas.
Merry after Christmas. Happy almost New Year.
Happy
New Year's Eve.
There we go. Is it?
New Year's Eve. It will be New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year's Eve. Eve. Yes.
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 It will be New Year's Eve.
There we go. How's everyone doing? How are you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Getting over this allergy in Texas.
Man,
Texas weather, man.
It's been nuts. It's been nuts over here. It definitely has been. But good. How's Christmas?
Christmas was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then my allergies acted up and then it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah. We got this thing here in Texas called Texas cedar fever. And it's not fun at all by any means. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
We press on, right?
We press on.
There we go. There we go. It's going to be a good one tonight.
You say that every episode. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a good one.
But they're all good. They're all fun.
So then what's the point of saying it? They know.
Because it just needs to be reiterated. You know, just sometimes it's like that. So, you know what it is. As always, like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Patreon and all the places.
All the platforms.
Yes, and we are listed on some additional podcast platforms. We're now on Google Podcasts, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we are trying to expand our reach as much as possible, so all the people can find us.
So they can find us.
Yes.
We're here.
Yes. So we got some feedback from the last one.
We did.
Have kids, they said.
Have kids, they said.
And we're going to continue on that topic.
We should, because you didn't follow through. You said you wanted to talk to the people about some things, and then people were like, "What were the things?" Yeah,
we got that from a few folks, and I will make sure that you will definitely find out what some of those things are. But it's been interesting just over the last week or so. We've talked to some friends and stuff like that, and man, kids are just something else right now.
Kids are special.
Like on all age levels. I don't know if it's they wilding out or what it is. Like so, something that we have been dealing with, and a few different friends that we know have been dealing with. We're dealing with firsts.
We are dealing with first. We have 3.
Yes.
But we're dealing with some firsts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our oldest, Jalen, special needs.
Yeah.
And he's 17.
17.
But because he's special needs, there are a lot of things that we have not been through yet.
We haven't experienced the same way as every other 17-year-old goes through. We have not experienced that as parents. We haven't experienced the, looking for colleges, getting a job, dealing with girlfriends,
no, none of that.
Dealing with friends and whatever. So we haven't dealt with that with Jalen. That hasn't been a thing. Things that you don't think you deal with. Obviously we have our own issues dealing with a 17-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
Child.
That's a whole nother world.
That's a whole nother world.
Oh yeah.
As far as 17-year-old, 16, we have not experienced teenage years.
Yes. We have not the same.
No.
So because we have not, we have a 12-year-old who's in middle school, and we're dealing with some firsts. And we talked last time about, how we kind of treat our kids and how we do discipline and how we try to instill some things in them and some solid foundations and stuff like that. But something happened a couple of weeks ago now.
Yes.
And so we will get into that story.
Will we though?
We are. We're going to get into it right now. We're going to get into it right now. Yeah. So I got a phone call on a Thursday morning. Kids were about to get out for Christmas break. It was like 2 days before getting out for Christmas break.
Right. We had half days.
And Abby was outside training with a client and got a phone call from the assistant principal, which just the fact that I even saw the middle school come up on my caller ID, and it's like 10:20 in the morning. I'm like, okay, this is odd.
He's sick. Usually,
something.
I feel like they don't call us unless our kids fall, have seizures.
Absolutely.
It's usually medically.
Yeah. And it's usually, it would come from the high school, not the middle school.
Right.
So the fact that it was coming from there is like, okay, that kind of threw me off. But get a phone call, and it's the assistant principal says, Mr. Duncan, Tayden has been involved in an altercation, and he's been suspended. You need to come and pick him up.
Right.
I was like, okay. I mean, there's not a whole bunch of questions to ask on the phone. I mean, she told me on the phone that some kids were making fun of him about cheating in a game that they were playing.
Right.
Which we know our child's not a saint.
Right.
But also,
let's preface this. Like Tayden Alexander, okay, our 12-year-old, man, he has a servant's heart. This kid is a lover.
Yeah.
He is not a fighter.
No, not at all.
He is soft through and through. He's a big old cuddly teddy bear. He a little, chubby bubby teddy bear. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a saint. I'm not saying
not at all.
My kids are great and they do no wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that our kids are respectful.
Yes.
And we've taught them to be respectful. They have manners.
Yep.
And they carry themselves well when we're not around.
They understand that they represent us when they're outside this house.
We're about 95% confident that they carry themselves pretty well. So
absolutely.
With that being said, Tayden he's our sweet kid, man. He is
like, if your kids are with him and like something went down and you want to know the truth, he'll be the first one. Like, if he won't say it, but if you ask him directly, he's gonna be the first one to tell you everything with all the details.
All the details. Yep. You just want the last sentence. He will give you every single detail. He will sing. He will sing, and he is the kid that worries about your kid before he gets in trouble for worrying about other people than before worrying about himself, which has gotten him in trouble for it.
Yes, I mean, that's something we've talked to him about for years. Like, take care of your stuff first before you worry about somebody else.
Before you worry. So he's not the fighter. He's not the, he's just, he is the kid that has gotten walked over quite a bit, has gotten bullied. He is the kid that gets bullied. So all that to say, here we are. He gets in an altercation.
Yes, and so she tells me, that some kids were making fun of him about cheating in a game, and I'm like, okay, so what did he do? She's like, he choked a kid. I'm like, okay. Okay, I guess I'll be up there shortly to come pick him up. Like, I don't know. I'm caught off guard at that point.
Yeah.
So I hang up the phone and then I'm like, hey, I got to go pick Tayden up from school. He's been suspended. And my wife.
Your wife what?
First reaction proceeds to.
I'm going to whoop his butt. What's he doing choking some people? What's he doing choking kids? Don't he know better? I'm going to let's go.
0 to 100, y'all.
Let's go.
0 to 100.
I'm trying to cancel clients. Let's go. We got to go to
0 to 100.
Not you. Like, we got to go up to the school. I'm about to beat his butt.
I'm like, I need you to calm down. Like, we don't even know the whole story. Like, we don't know anything that's going on. Like, we know that this is not normal. This is not his nature,
Listen,
his character.
I'm ready to choke him. I'll choke him. I'll choke him. I'm ready to come up with the pop stick.
I'm glad one of us has a cooler head that can level through some of this. So I went up there without her, and I proceeded to get to the school and go into the assistant principal's office, and he's in there. And Susie sees me walk in, like, he starts crying. Like, you can just tell, like, he's super broken about whatever happened.
He is a very dramatic crier too. He is not like
he is.
He's not a like, I'm shedding some tears.
Yo, no, not at all.
Like gangster thug cries.
No.
He is a boo-hooer.
Yeah, he a ball and boo-hooer.
He is a ball.
So I asked what happened, and the assistant principal, she started to tell me, and I was like, hold on, I want to hear it in his words. So I asked him, and he's like, well, we were in, I think they have these things called houses. Like, yeah. It's like how they group, they
group the kids.
Group kids together, whatever. He was like, so we were in our house together, and we were playing a game, and some kids were saying that I cheated in the game, but I didn't cheat. And then after that, we all the houses, like, we went out to the courtyard, and the 8th graders were in the back, and some of my friends were back there. So I went back there to be with my friends, but the 8th graders were back there, and they started messing with me about cheating in the game again. And then one of the kids said something about mom. And then I choked him.
Yo, we laugh.
We're laughing now.
He talked about my mama.
We weren't laughing at the time.
He said he made a yo mama joke.
Okay, so we're gonna put a little context around this. So this is Tayden's first year playing football.
Yeah.
Right. And some of y'all
first true year in middle school.
Yeah.
He was home.
Yeah, because of COVID last year and stuff like that.
Last year, so he hasn't had. It's his first year
And middle school here is like 6th, 7th, and 8th, and he's in 7th. So yeah, this is his first actual year in middle school, and playing football this year. And some of y'all know that Abby and I are big into fitness and compete and different stuff like that or whatever. So on Tayden's phone a while back, Abby was in a photo shoot for a fitness line.
Yeah.
And she had taken Tayden with her.
Yeah.
So he can kind of see, what she does sometimes, stuff like that. Yeah. And her and Tayden took a picture together, and Tayden has that as his screensaver. Well, some of the guys on the football team saw that. And it's nothing like, it's mom and her son, right? So it's not like it's anything bad or anything like that.
We have a backdrop.
Yeah.
There's a backdrop, and we're standing.
Yeah. You're just
standing there smiling.
Yeah. Like you're
crazy about it.
Pants and a sports top. Yeah. Workout top. So, some of the boys on the football team saw that, and they were like, ooh, Tayden, your mom's hot, your mom's hot. So that's been going on all football season. And he comes home.
August.
Yeah. And he's told us about it. And we're like, look, like, number one, yes, your mom's attractive. And that's something that we can't do anything about. Like, I'm quite fond of that asset of hers, that she's attractive. So we definitely don't want to change that. But you can't do anything about that. And you can't control what other people are going to say. Like, if it's a huge issue, if, they're saying something, let us know, let your teacher know, something like that, right? And it hasn't gotten any bigger than that as far as we knew.
Right.
Up until,
he would tell them they were inappropriate.
Yeah.
He'd walk away now, whatever it was. I mean, I guess how far can you walk away? You're in a class with him.
Yeah.
Or you play sports with him, or whatever. So,
yeah.
We gave him different avenues to be like, hey, work this out. Work it out. You can't go attack. Not that he ever did prior to, but figure out a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Solve it.
Yes.
Or ignore it, because really, whatever.
You can't control people. People are going to say stupid stuff all day long, whatever, whatnot. So, now back to being in the principal's office.
Yeah.
When he told me that one of the kids said something about mom, then that was my kind of aha moment. Like, okay, now this kind of makes sense, because, and that's what I told the principals, like, this has been happening like all year long since football started. So, it's not so out of the blue anymore. Right. Like, there's never been an altercation with Tayden, anything like that, but whatever. And because Tayden was the one to get physical first,
right.
Schools have zero tolerance policy, stuff like that, whatever. So I get it. Got to get suspended. Not a problem.
Right.
And so it's like, well, he's not missing anything academics, because the last 2 days before we get off Christmas break, not a big deal. So we're leaving. Well, I don't know if it was God, Holy Spirit, conscience, whatever, but something was like, you need to ask him exactly what was said. Right. So I put Tayden in the truck, and I'm like, what did this kid actually say to you? Because just to do another, hey, your mom's hot, like, it still doesn't warrant this, and we have to deal with some stuff. So he proceeds to tell me that the kid says, dude, I will kiss your mom, and I'll be your effing stepdad.
Whose child talks like this? Any of y'all children talk like this? I'm going to put soap in that little boy's mouth. Man.
That set me off right there.
Yeah.
Like, I made a straight beeline back into that office.
That's so gross. That's so dirty. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Did you talk like that in 7th grade?
No.
You talk like that about any of your friends' mamas?
No. So even in high school, like, we mess with friends about their mom, stuff like that, whatever. And we would do like, oh, dude, your mom's hot, dude, your mom, but it never went any further than that.
Yeah.
Like, it never was like, I'm gonna be your effing stepdad. Like, really? Like that's just a whole nother level of disrespect. Like, honestly, you're kind of asking for something to happen. But so that's what happened. I made a beeline back in. I'm back in the assistant principal's office, and she had already had another student in there. And basically, I kicked the other student out, and was like, look, I hope you don't think I'm going to do anything to my kid because of what was said to him. And then I told her what the other kid said, and she was appalled. She was like, I had no clue. Like, Tayden didn't tell us that. So he needs to come back in here, put it on a statement, stuff like that. So I get Tayden, and I'm like, look, dude.
Yeah.
Because I'll be upfront. We've been dealing with some honesty issues
With our child.
kid, and it's something that
Him the most.
we've been dealing with, and we've been working through and working through. And I was like, look, I am stepping up to help you fight a battle right now, and if you are not being 100% truthful, man, they're gonna be a whole hell to pay like when we get home. And he was like, no, I promise, Dad, I promise. So we go back in there, and he writes it on a statement, and then we're leaving, and he's telling me, he's like, Dad, they're gonna say I'm lying. I was like, why are they gonna say you're lying? He's like, because the other kid that can like back up my story is the first kid's friend. So it's
which is the one that slapped him.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the whole story was he choked a kid. His friend, the kid's friend slaps Tayden.
Yeah.
Tayden starts running after him,
and the other kid
turns around and slaps him again.
Yeah. So it's like two on one basically. And then that's when administrators and stuff like that got involved and stuff like that. So I was like, well, you know what? If he says you're lying, like if you're telling the truth, like after that point, it's out of your hands, and we'll deal with it from there. So we leave, and mind you, as soon as he told me what the kid said, he starts bawling, crying again. So he's just like, I had to defend my mom, right? So I get a phone call from the school about 45 minutes later, and the principal was like, Hayden was telling the truth. The other kid fessed up, and you know what Tayden said, but it's like,
not that he's not like, of course, why would Tayden lie? But it's like, we knew that he wasn't lying.
Not about something like that.
And like, why would you just make up some random? Why would he just? Why would any kid just make up some random lie like that?
Well, you know, kids.
But I guess
we're finding out kids these days. They on a whole nother level.
They are on a whole nother.
They're a whole nother level. So it's just. It caught us off guard, and it's just, again, it's one of those things like, man, I never thought I would have to. But we are, like, here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Having to work through it, and we're talking to him, and at one point we're like, you know, obviously getting physical is not the right way to handle it when you have administrators around and teachers and stuff like that. And if you haven't told any of them, like, they have no clue or no idea what to look out for, and you definitely don't want to
listen. And we are all about, hey, if you're putting hands on somebody, it better be because you're defending yourself.
Yes,
not
absolutely.
for the sake of because you're mad. You're dealing with emotions.
Right.
No,
that's not the way to handle it.
That's not the way to handle it.
Yeah.
And we are not for, hey, use your words and come back at them.
Yeah.
But if it occurs, I'd rather you do that than put your hands on some kid.
Yeah.
So I'm not, so we're not mad. We weren't mad at the fact that he was trying to defend his mama.
Not at all. Not at all.
Walk through that, and it's, hey, your sister, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Your sister, your mom, your dad. There's been little girls thinking that you're hot too. I mean, he doesn't get that. And on our side, it's like, hey, you're putting thoughts, you're entertaining thoughts with these little friends of yours that shouldn't be entertained.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not something that you should laugh and joke about.
Yeah, no.
Like, okay, haha, cool.
Yeah.
But to egg it on and be like, hey, the way he does, or like, hey, you need to chill out, because that's just not something that can create, that can plant some seeds in you.
Yeah.
And whether you know it or not, that can plant some seeds of, just being curious. Yeah. Being, insecurity. I mean, there's so much that can root from that.
Just thoughts that don't need to have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've had a whole gamut of things we've had to work through. And this is us just being honest and transparent about where we're at, about things that are happening in our lives right now. And it's just, man, kids are just so different at now versus when we were in middle school and
I was bullied. I was bullied growing up.
Yeah.
I was in ISS a lot too. I don't think I ever got suspended, but I had a lot of ISS time. I spent a lot of time in like D halls and ISS, but mainly because it was like, oh, you were talking.
And that goes for me too.
You were late.
Yes.
You're too late to class or whatever it was. I wasn't a bad kid.
Yeah.
I probably was worse than Tayden.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we didn't deal with the stuff that,
man, not even close. Not even close. Just the stuff that we hear kids are doing in middle school and talking about, and like
I was bullied, but not like this.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was bad.
Yeah.
But I was never to this point of like talking about somebody's mom or talking about you gonna F somebody's, You know,
Yeah.
you gonna be my effing daddy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know. That made me feel like a real prude. Like, oh my gosh. And I thought I was bad.
So the funny part of all this is, you remember in the beginning when we just got the phone call that Tayden was getting suspended.
Yes.
Abby was real hot.
I was ready to beat his behind.
And then while I'm at the school, I text her like, he got suspended because of you. Like, he got suspended because he was defending his mama. Her tune changed real fast.
Is my baby okay? Is he hurt? Is he okay? How is he feeling?
Oh my gosh, you're a mess. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
Well, listen, I still would have beat him. Okay, like
if he did something worthwhile.
But I still would have also asked, "Are you okay?" I still would have hugged him afterwards. You know, but I was concerned.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and the reason not because, oh my God, my tune changed. It was because we know how Tayden is. Something had to really drive.
Don't make me laugh because I'm trying to drink my drink.
Listen, because we know how Tayden is, like, my thing was, what drove him to choke some kid? Because he's not a hands-on type.
Yes.
He's not. His first reaction has never been to just like hurt somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
His first reaction is to cry.
Yeah.
Like, literally, his first reaction is, my feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
Or to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
Because he's embarrassed. He's being made fun of.
Yeah.
He doesn't recognize it a lot of times, or he just goes along with it because he wants to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
So the fact that my kid had
he's a people pleaser.
Right. But then when he starts explaining, so Tayden, how'd you choke him?
Oh my gosh.
You would have thought the boy said, "Can I choke you?"
Like they played patty cake.
Yeah. Like he just put his hand on his chest to feel his heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, of course, I had to go and I had to choke him myself and be like, is this what you did? Or did you do it like this?
I don't think he realized in the moment of passion, a moment of passion, what he actually did until we kind of explained it to him like, bruh, you didn't just like lay hands on him like you about to pray for him or something like that. I mean, like, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Let me pray for your mouth.
Right? I mean, like, I I understood the situation of what was happening and what was going on.
You understood the assignment. Okay. It's funny now.
It's really funny now. Oh my gosh. It's hot in here. It's really hot.
Oh my God. You know, it's funny because, okay, grand scheme of things, like, this is very... Y'all, he's choking. This is very, like, this situation is very small to, I'm sure, what a lot of other parents
absolutely
have dealt with.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, and, like, Jalen can be very, like, violent.
Yeah.
Not on purpose, not because he really wants to hurt you, but he's I mean, you think about it, right? Like, you're stuck in your own body and you can't verbalize.
Right.
Like, that has to be frustrating.
Yeah.
You're mad, I'm mad,
Yep.
I'm screaming, you're yelling at me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so with Jalen, he hits himself, he hits me, he hits us, he kicks the ball.
You have tears about to come out of your eye.
No, because I was laughing so hard. Leave me alone. I was trying to dry him up. So he's, in a sense, if we had to lay our kids out, Jalen is more so violent.
Right.
Tayden is very much, he is the emotional one.
Yeah.
And Avy is just like, she's the bossy. She don't care.
She has a ball of sass right there.
She don't care. She will hurt you with her words.
Hold
her
up.
Eyeballs.
So quick side story with this one. So she had the opportunity to go spend the night with a friend the other night. And before she left, she went to her mother and said, "Mommy, I have mixed emotions.
I have so many mixed emotions.
Mixed emotions about leaving." What 6-year-old talks about mixed emotions?
Ava and Elise.
She said, I want to go and spend time with my friend and see my friend, but I don't want to leave you, Mommy.
I know. I said, I get it, girl. I know. Me too. You should stay home. She said, but I have to have girl time. I'll be home tomorrow.
Okay.
Like, how dare you?
So we digress. But it's just, I don't know. It's just so different. And I know this is I'm sure on the grand scale of things, incredibly small to some of the things that we'll still deal with moving forward. But I still, it was just crazy.
It is just because because we know our kids' characters, right? We know them better. We've never had incidences where he has been like violent in any way or combative or has even like he does not talk back. He's not a kid that he challenges us. Yes.
Yep.
When he asks questions, to us it sounds
disrespectful to us.
Disrespectful, but he really is very just
trying to inquire.
Why are you talking to me like that? You better fix your voice. No, mommy, I was
have
just
this look on his face like I
wondering. But why do you feel like I need? And it's like, okay. And then on the other side, I'm like, hey, you need to let me know if you have questions.
He's scared to answer. He's like,
let me know if you have questions.
Like,
and
this
then
is a trick.
Asks questions. I'm like, why are you asking me
this
questions?
This is a trick. This is a trick, man.
Poor child. No wonder he's confused. Yeah. He's confused. But and then, teenage hormones. He's going through a whole bunch of our oldest is going through a whole bunch of hormones. So a lot of the stuff is just, the things, the medications or whatever that work doesn't work, and the natural remedies that we've done, you can't fight hormones. You can't fight hormones. So there's but look, it's funny because he's our most violent, but you can't be violent with him. You got to put him in a corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tayden's our most emotional one.
Yeah.
But you put hands on him and it's like his whole world has broken.
And Avi got out of one the other day. So she
such a good girl.
She is a really, really good girl. But we've been talking to her for the last couple of weeks about not playing and eating up at the island anymore because she keeps coloring on the counter or just making an incredible mess. And we try to be good stewards of what we have and keep things nice or whatnot. So we're like, hey, move to the table, and we tell her over and over and over again. It's like I forgot. Well, this day she got permanent marker.
She has an obsession with Sharpie. She loves them. She has all.
And somebody got her a whole box of Sharpie markers for Christmas.
Whole box with all the colors.
Yeah.
And all the different tips.
Yeah.
She loves it.
Yeah.
And she knows to write on top of stuff.
Yes.
Like we tell her, pat it.
Yeah.
Put some extra paper.
But it what she did bled through.
Yeah.
And it got on the counter, and so I'd sent her to her room, and the plan was she was going to get one pop. But then I got in the room.
It's like, for what though? But she couldn't help that. She couldn't help it.
No, because I told her not to be up at the counter.
Oh.
And she went and colored up at the counter. And then, she always forgets.
She forgot. She's 6.
And then when she saw it went through, she tried to clean it up first before she told me. And the only reason she told me was because she couldn't get it cleaned up on her own. That's the only reason she told me. She was going to hide it.
She was not going to hide it.
She was not going. She was trying to clean it up on her own.
Listen,
the only reason she came and got me,
hit it because she wants you to know that she fixed the problem. So she always if she does something, for example, if she spilled something, she'll clean it. She's not gonna hide it. She'll be like, "Mommy, I spilled it, but I wiped it. I picked it up. I cleaned it." Or "Mommy, I need help still. I can't get it because I spilled." So she's either way, she would still tell me.
But that's not all the time. That's not all the time.
Maybe not
because
for you.
Because well, whatever. But there have been multiple times where it's like, hey, who did X, Y, and Z?
Our 4th child.
Exactly. So
y'all got that 4th child, 5th child problem.
So that's what was going to happen. So anyway, I sent her to her room, and the plan was she was going to get one pop. But then I'm sitting there talking to her, and she had the most saddest face in the world. And I was asking her,
teeth. What are you gonna do? Poor chick, she ain't got no teeth. Let that girl live.
And the problem was she looked so pitiful. I wanted to laugh.
So mean.
She looked so pitiful. And I was asking her about what she did and why, we've been telling you. She said, yes, sir, and everything like that. And I was like, man, don't do it again. Like, I really wanted to bust out laughing in the room, but I was like, you know what, we can show her some grace, and we do that when it's warranted.
Yeah.
You know, well, even when it's unwarranted, because you know sometimes we get grace in our lives when it's unwarranted. So
we really do.
It's important we model that same thing.
Yeah.
So
you know, there's no. I'll tell you what. Walking through it, I mean, every kid's different. We have very similar, like we've talked to our friends, they've gone through the same thing with, you know, the hot mom situation or whatever it is. You know, we have friends that are walking through that right now.
We asked them how they dealt with it, because we want to make sure we're dealing with it properly.
Right, and we've been blessed with, you know, friends that we've met years ago that has special needs daughter that we're so close with. And so they're dealing with a lot of firsts too. So, you know, we've been able to relate to that, and to be able to relate to, you know, kids that have a special needs sibling.
Yeah.
Like how they're reacting and how they're, you know, because it's so different. Like I feel that, man, there is no handbook to raising a family, 2, raising special needs.
Yeah, for sure.
Blended.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and it's not even like we had a special needs kid.
Yeah.
I had a special needs kid. We had babies. We integrated our lives. We became a blended family. I mean, there's a lot of firsts that we have gone through in our life that we're still continuing to walk through now. Yeah. And, you know, handling the way we handle our kids, the way we handle different situations. And, you know, with Jalen, he's very much our first of a lot of things. Yeah. And no one knows how to handle, because special needs kids are all different. Yeah. Every single one of them, whether they're Downs or whatever, you know, they just don't react the same way. And Jalen is he is 1 in a million for sure. And so, but at the end of the day, we have chosen to not treat him any differently than the rest of our kids. But yes, show grace in areas that he might just not understand, and we understand that he doesn't. And maybe he just doesn't get it all the way. Okay. But we sure do give him the opportunity to be like, listen here, Joker. I know you know what I said. Yeah. And
he knows plenty of times too. Mm-hmm. He knows plenty of times.
He's funny.
But you know what, man? Shout out to the parents. Yeah. I'll tell you that, because when you're going through things for the first time, because there is no manual, there's no, I mean, there's a right and wrong way to do things, but a lot of time we don't figure that out till after the fact. Yeah. Like we're trying to figure it out as we go through it. And so, man, I tell you what, I'll tell you this much: going through a situation like this, it continues to make me understand having grace for my parents. Going through things, because I was the first boy. I was the third child, but I was the first boy.
Having grace for I feel like that's so like, you have grace for your parents. How about they have grace for you? Like when you say that, like you rude. How you got grace for your parents? You mean you're thankful?
No, I'm thankful, like, but instead of like looking back at like how they handled things with me or whatever in a judgmental way, like having a little grace for them, and like they did the best they could. They did the best they knew how in that particular situation.
Yeah, so I think all parents do.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever. I can 99.99% say that a lot of times when we become in our 20s, our 30s, we have our own kids. We always essentially, I can't name not one person that doesn't essentially look back and be like, man, now I understand why my mom is the way she was.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say that.
That's not grace.
Yeah, it is.
No, I think that's you become appreciative. That's not grace. I don't think it's great. Like we give our kids grace in an area. It's like, I'm giving you grace for the way you treated me growing up. Yeah. It's like, no, I have a new understanding and a new appreciation of why you responded the way you did, because you just didn't. We were all trying to figure it out. Yeah, yeah. We were all trying to figure it out.
That's true.
I was a baby trying to figure it out, trying to figure out a special needs child, and single. Yeah. I was married, divorced, single, and a baby myself with a baby trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I probably jacked Jalen's life up, and he just can't talk to tell anybody what I've done.
Oh, maybe that's for the best. Who knows? Who knows? But we say all that, we tell that whole story, and say all these things to say, like, you got to be a present parent. Like the one thing that we knew when we got that phone call is that things didn't add up, because that's not the normal character
Right.
of our kid. And you can only make that assessment if you're a present parent and you like take the time to invest with your kids, not just in them, but with them, to know what their norms are, how they act. Now, that's not to say your kid can't just crazy wild out when they're not there, but I think that would be out of the ordinary if you're, trying to take the time to really invest and instill some things in them, right?
I think you have to, I don't know, I don't think you have to reword being present. I think it's because when you hear that as a single mom, you're like, I'm doing the best that I can.
Oh, absolutely.
My mom was a single parent with me doing the best that she could.
Right.
And I don't think necessarily being present. I think I wouldn't use present. I think I would use being transparent, being open with them, just because had my mom talked to me a little bit more, had she communicated to me a little bit more, not just discipline me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not just put me in my place, not just tell me what to do, but just be present, but like really just spend time with me.
Yeah.
And whatever time that she had, she was working 2-3 jobs. She was always at the hospital.
Yeah.
I never saw her.
Right.
I never saw her. But the times that I did see her, she was asleep.
Yeah.
Because she was working all the time. Or the times that, that she could do was, okay, she made me breakfast and she sat down with me.
Yeah.
Certain times, but I don't remember a lot of times growing up because she was always on the go to where she made the time to just sit down and talk to me. Even if it was for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or talk to me in the car.
Man, those little things make a huge difference.
They do. And I think that is more so about being present, not just you have to carve out, you have to do. Yes, that's important. I just think finding pockets.
Take advantage of what you have. Like we're all at different places in different points in our lives, and we're dealing with different situations. And so whatever that is, do the best with what you have.
Yeah.
Like that's not to put anybody down or say anybody's better than anybody else, but just work with what you got. Work with what you got. And if it's like we've been in those places where I'm working multiple jobs and always gone and different stuff like that. And those times are really hard and they really suck. And at some point in time, we also reevaluated, like, is it worth, losing on one side what we're gaining on the other?
That's true.
And that stuff has to be evaluated as well. But it's.
I also say have a good support system.
Man. Yep.
In whatever you can.
Yep.
Whether that's one person, one couple, whatever, especially like the single parents out there, right? Like, don't be scared to share your issues in a safe space.
Absolutely.
With people that you're safe with, not just to vent. And you do just need to vent a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because kids are kids, and they can be some hateful little things that you created.
Little monsters sometimes.
Little monsters that you create. I birthed these. I created them in my stomach. I made you to be hateful.
Yep.
What is? But seriously, I mean, I think because we have the people around us that we do have, that we are open enough to share. Like, man, because
it's rough right now.
Real total transparency. Like, man, our oldest, he's a real a-hole sometimes.
Yeah,
he acts like, I'm not calling him out of his name. I'm not saying he's but he's a lot.
Yeah.
He can be a lot.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to balance that and what that looks like as a teenager for him, because he is on that borderline of adulthood. He is a total man with age. Like he may not necessarily be mentally there,
right,
but he is a total man. So it's not like saying, hey, here's my special needs 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Here's my adult son, who is special needs.
Yeah.
Here's my 20-something-year-old. Here's who will still be living with us, who we will still be taking care of, who hopefully we won't be wiping, but we still give him baths and we still wipe him and we still do these things and we still have to tuck him in and we still have to change his clothes and we still have to help him. I mean, I don't think people know those things and understand those things, and a lot of it was not necessarily prideful, but it was there's just nobody that understands. So how can I share? Yeah. How can I share this? Yeah. Right. But I was put in the position of, yes, I was a single mom, but even when you were working for American Airlines, you were gone all the time. Like, I couldn't do it all on my own. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of the work, a lot of the day to day, but he's very heavy-handed,
Yeah.
and he's very hard to deal with. And, you know, we had friends like Nate to come over, and he just,
when I couldn't be there,
took over, and he gave him baths,
Yep.
and he helped me, you know, or whatever it was, or people would come and be like, hey, we just want to take, you know, Tate and Navy out.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and that meant a lot.
Yeah.
Or for, you know, those grandparents to show up to those things that, because your mom didn't live here at the time, or whatever it was. So, you know, it made me appreciate my village, you know, more so.
Yeah.
More so than I ever did. Yeah. And it made me very open to saying, man, this is what's going on in life with us. Have you dealt with this? Because I have no direction. Yep. And I'm about to scar my child if somebody doesn't tell me what to do.
Bruh. Like, yeah, no, real talk. Well, well, for those of you out there who wanted us to do a longer show, we're like 10 minutes longer than normal.
What? So, shout out, Nicole.
So there you have
girl.
it. there you have it. You got some extra time today, but I told you it was fun. There was a lot of laughing today.
Man. I feel like maybe that was the 10 minutes of trying to get our lives back
straight
together.
laughing.
Look, and we still survived.
It might have been.
Y'all, all to say, we have 3 kids.
Yep.
We're still surviving. They're still alive.
Yes.
And thriving.
Yes.
And
yes. Yeah. It was.
And
man,
he still got stuff for Christmas. You know, I should have gave him coal.
No, you know.
For another episode.
But we love our kids, so you know it is what it is. Yeah. But man, so. We're come to an end. We've come to the end of another one.
See y'all next year.
Yeah. Man, whatever you do for your New Year's Eve celebration, be safe, stay safe. If you're gonna drink, please don't drive. Like, let's be smart about this, folks. Because there's enough crap happening in the world today. We don't need to add to that.
True that. And don't be alone.
Yeah, man.
With some people.
Absolutely.
You know, as an introvert, I say that with have a quiet evening in your jammies.
It's looking real living roomish this year. Looking real living roomish. So,
I'm here for it.
But for sure, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Say that real fast.
Say like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. We got Facebook, Instagram. Consider following us, supporting us on Patreon, man. That's going to be huge for us moving forward. But until the next one, we out.